Hey there, everybody. I'm Karthik Venkatram, and I'm joined by our Vols insider, John Brice, who's also a national college football writer for footballscoop.com. John, you're joining me today because we're talking about Vols football and running back Lyn-J Dixon leaving the program, as also what is going on with the eligibility of wide receiver Bru McCoy. Let's talk about Dixon first. What went on there? He was only with the program for 18 days from the time he committed to the time that he left.
Yeah, it was 3 weeks ago, Karthik, basically, that he and his father visited the University of Tennessee program after having left the West Virginia program, after having earlier this year left the Clemson program. So it's been a strange odyssey for Lyn-J Dixon. The number one thing I can tell you is that this is not on Tennessee's coaches. This is not on Tennessee's players. This is something that I think Lyn-J Dixon has to resolve with his family, just some personal issues. And I talked to people on campus today, and they just hoped for the best for Lyn-J, but it was a bad fit. I don't know that Josh Heupel's going to sacrifice his culture. He's built a really, really good culture in very short order at the University of Tennessee, done a lot of very positive things. And I just think that there were some accountability issues there with Lyn-J Dixon that weren't translating into this program. There were some very direct questions that Lyn-J Dixon and his father had to answer up front about that culture, about being the right fit, and about being a team player. And frankly, I'm not sure that Tennessee got 100% of the answers that it wanted on the front end, but it was a bit of a move of desperation, a move of need, not desperation, because it was on the heels of Whitehead's injury. You need those healthy backs, especially in this offense that plays at such a tempo. This is going to place a premium on a guy like Jerry Mack, but he's a veteran coach who's been in a lot of big-time situations, and I think this is where the fact that you have a more veteran coach over that position group is definitely an asset for the University of Tennessee.
All right, let's move on to wide receiver Bru McCoy. His eligibility and what's going on with it has got Vols fans scratching their heads as to what do they got to do to get this guy on the field. So give us the latest on what's going on. Obviously, USC released that statement yesterday saying they've done pretty much everything they can on their part for him to get eligibility, but then they're saying that the NCAA has to be the ones that get this resolved. What are you hearing?
Yeah, and the NCAA ultimately is the final arbiter. It's basically USC saying, we're not standing in the way, we're just not going out of our way to help. And I think that's the overarching theme at this point, Karthik. And let's remember that even though ultimately all charges were dropped, Bru McCoy left USC after having missed all of last season and never really was truly reinstated to the football team after USC went through the coaching change from Clay Helton to Lincoln Riley. But I would tell you that in talking with people on campus, there clearly must be some optimism in the University of Tennessee, because as recently as this weekend, Karthik, Bru McCoy was out there with the #1 group, lining up opposite Cedric Tillman in one of the top starting wide receiver spots for the University of Tennessee. He's continued to get a heavy workload.